Say the pledge of allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We can do the roll call and get Dan on Zoom.
Yeah. Dan, good morning. By Zoom this morning?
Good morning. How's everyone?
We are well.
Did you get the big one last night?
No, sir. No, I did not.
Okay, well, try harder.
So we should show, for purposes of the record, that all of the members of the board are present. And as part of the approval of the agenda, in just a moment, we need to recognize Mr. Truckey's participation by Zoom, citing extraordinary circumstances. I do have one add-on item today, and it is item E under the manager's report. I've discussed this with the chairman. We want to provide a brief update and answer questions the board may have pertaining to the parcel 13 default with respect to the ERC takedown schedule. So if we can just add a 6E, and I have arranged to have Lauren Josephson, who wrote the legal memorandum that you received last month. She will be participating, and also Mr. Lombardo will be participating by Zoom today as part of that. She has a conflict, and so if we could have her update at 9:45 this morning, then we can hopefully allow her to participate with her other schedule after 10 o'clock. So with that, those are the only changes.
There was a couple other things.
Yeah, if you have other additions, let's get them on there.
People want to readdress the security around here, you know, the thefts that are going on and what we can do about that.
That'll be 12A.
And then they also want to discuss the community utility building.
Okay. Any other additions to the agenda?
Anybody else have anything that they want brought up that isn't on the agenda?
Yeah, we'll have an opportunity to speak during public comment twice.
Okay,
So you
I make a motion that we accept the additions to the agenda and the fact that Dan Truckey and our attorney will be participating over Zoom.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That takes us down to item 3 today, public comment. These would be for any matters that are not on the published agenda. Any members of the public? We've got a nice crowd here today. Yes, sir. If you can, come all the way to the front. And our meetings are transcribed, so I'll need your name and your neighborhood or address, please.
Okay.
I need you to come to the front, or you won't be on the tape.
I have not seen the agenda. Is questions on the water bill situation on that agenda?
No, sir, but this would be your opportunity to discuss
Great. Okay.
Name, please.
Steve Cunningham.
Okay.
I live in Stella Maris Drive North.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm just going to send this to you, give this to maybe share a little bit. Here, I can actually give one to everybody.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
All right. And this is, in all due respect, I'm just confused about what's going on with it and things like that.
And you know what, I appreciate you bringing this up because this is going to be a learning experience for all of us. Can I have one more?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Okay, and I'm using my figures for this discussion. In other words, what are true to me on my taxes.
Sure.
Okay. My total tax payment in 2024 was $3,870.11. Okay, that included the CID water service. Okay,
So include your water bill.
it's combined.
And so your water bill is in this as well.
Correct.
So it'll vary for everybody else.
So you're not ad
Okay.
valorem, you're not ad valorem in your water bill, if that's this number?
Last year.
Okay?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, this year, my bill is down here. Okay, just let me back up a little bit. I got a CID notice that said that about $1,400 was going to be removed from my tax bill because it was going non-ad valorem, or whatever you call it.
Absolutely.
Okay, my bill this year is $28,1430. That's $28,1430 compared to $38,7011. And if you were to pull $1,400 out of that, and I know things change a little bit, this will go up a little bit here, this will go up, but it's a $400 up, and that's not normal. So my bill, if you take my $28,1430, which is what I have to pay come November 30th, because I do pay in advance, and you add the $1,400, it comes to $42,14. Now, this is a tax bill where the taxes are where the taxes are supposedly going down in the first place. So what I'm wondering is, what is the discrepancy here of $400? And also, to add more confusion to it, we are being charged on a 3/4 inch meter, which is $128 a month for the water bill. $128 a month times 12 equals 1,536, not 1,400, as we were told would be charged for the ad valorem being pulled out. And that's going to be equally paid throughout the year. That is 1,536 compared to the 1,400 that I was told would be removed. So the math isn't adding up. So that adds even more, $136 on top of, $400. So we're now talking about a $500 differential.
A year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
slightly less, but that doesn't sound kosher to me.
Well,
Why is
we haven't had a water bill increase in 6 years.
That was 8 years.
6 to 8 years, so it hasn't gone up, the
Okay,
price of water. So this was all figured in there, plus you're
But the
paying 3% of that, your total bill is going to the county now, because it's up 3%. Automatic.
Okay.
3%. So that's another 3% of the total that raises your tax bill. You know what I mean? So whatever your tax bill was, you said it was 2,800 plus, so 3% of 2,800 is almost another $900.
3% of 2,800?
No, 90, well, that's like $90, right?
Right, yeah, I mean, and
Okay.
3% is the most I can be charged, because I
Right.
am a homesteader.
Right. Yeah, I know,
Now,
they go
that
every year.
doesn't pertain to assessment as far as homesteading, not on water bills.
No, not on,
Okay.
yeah, I'm
But
aware of that.
Here, let me do a quick thing for you. So before, we were charging you roughly $1,400 a year for the utility portion of our ERCs, right?
Plus usage,
Plus usage.
right.
Okay, we switched, we went away from that. But the other part of this is, you were paying that $1,400, but that was for about 75% of what the true cost was. But maybe I'm not making this clear, but the thing of it is, we also have not, we had a company come in and assess where our assessment should be, right? Well, what they told us was that we had been under assessing for water for quite a period of time, and that what we were charging was unsustainable. So we weren't trying to just change it from the utility bill to the water bill and keep it equal. We also had to have an increase in it to make sure that we're not running at a deficit.
Okay, I get that,
Okay?
but then you sent a notice saying 1,400 would be what would be removed. So,
And it was.
and that was only a couple months ago. So why is it now 1,500 plus I'm being charged another 400. I know you're not the CID that does the county, but it's just,
The 1,400 wasn't removed?
what?
The 1,400 went off in October at the beginning of our new year when we switched over.
Did it come off?
Of course it did.
It did,
Well,
because I got a tax bill for the commercial parcel that you own, because we're still obligated to pay taxes for the commercial parcel, but the assessment has been removed.
1,400 minus what I paid last year would have been more like 20, would have meant I'm paying more like 2,400 in taxes.
Well, it's specifically called out on your tax bill. Maybe if you bring your tax bill.
And realistically, we shouldn't be talking about your water, how much your water bill is, because everybody's different, depending on how much water you use, right?
No,
Yeah, no, he's talking about his
you get
taxes.
charged the
Okay.
1,400, which is now really 1,536 plus my usage. So my usage is a
I don't know where
non-factor.
I don't know where that's coming from either. Can
Yeah,
you
let's
see what
see.
you got going there?
Yeah, that's my tax bill.
Okay, so,
The only other change was the fact that previously we were not in the mosquito control district, and we are now. And so the mosquito control district levy should be shown separately, but is new on the.
this says your non-ad
If I may.
valorem tax, $121.
Yeah, that's,
If I may jump in here just for a minute, guys, I pulled last year's taxes.
That you're looking at, that's ad valorem, that's county.
Right,
Yeah,
that's my tax.
that has nothing to do with us,
I know,
okay?
but what I'm simply saying is that before the water was in, and it was 3,800. Now it's out, and it's 2,800.
I'm not following it.
He thinks it should be
Okay,
2,400.
may I jump in here for a minute, please?
Thank you, Dan.
All right, I pulled two tax bills here while this came up. I pulled the 24 tax bill, the 25 tax bill for my unit. All right, the non-ad valorem tax, down on the bottom, the 9,004 Port of the Islands Community Improvement Tax on 24 was $1,899.63 for mine. All right, and this year in 25, it came up to $721.26, which means it dropped almost $1,200. Rounded up, it's real close to $1,200. Then I looked at the other non-ad valorem taxes and things that you have to pay on your tax bill. There was an increase in every column by a little over $5, and there's 9 different things they charge us for. And then there's a mosquito that, as Neil was saying, the mosquito, Collier County Mosquito Control District started charging us, and they added on another $20 for that too. So you're a little over $100 there. So if you take the $1,200, a little over $100, you're at $1,300 something dollars, and you're saying that it was supposed to be $1,400. You're actually pretty close. If you get to take into consideration all the funds, the Water Management Fund, Big Cypress Basin, School Board, State Law, School Board, Local, Ochapi Fire, the unincorporated general tax, Collier County Water Pollution Control, Conservation Collier, all those different things add up on your tax bill, and they all went up a little over $5 a piece. So you're going to have a little over $100 something increases in just all the things that Collier County charges.
oh, do you want to say it?
At $1,200, at the $1,200 that mine dropped, add that $100 and something on there. You're real close. You're $1,300 something, and you're thinking it should have dropped $1,400. You're not very far apart.
Okay, but it went up, Dan. My total, which is probably what I need to take up with the county. Okay.
Yeah, your
But
water.
if in fact it's 1,400, but is it 1,400 or is it 1,536, number one? And number two, when are we gonna start getting billed that amount? I have no idea what.
The billing started on October 1st, so October, November, the 1st of December is when the first bill comes
Yeah, I
out.
think that bill will come out December the 15th, and you'll see the rate increase reflected in the December bill.
Okay, and that would be payable on the 1st of, I used to pay on the 20th, now it seems like it was shifted towards the first of the month. Is that,
I don't know.
Yeah, that part I don't know either.
Yeah, I don't know when they become delinquent, but you're correct. I mean, there's typically about a 2 or 3 week period there.
Yeah, so none of us are really gonna know what this is gonna be until that December bill comes out.
right,
for
well,
sure.
that's why I'm asking.
But on the other part of this is too, you're talking about, yes, we are doing some increases too on our water bills because we were not collecting enough money to cover our costs.
Okay,
A lot of the other places went up 8%. And we've talked about that at a lot of different meetings. What water bills are, you compared them to Lately?
Yeah.
You know, they were
They're-
$300 a month basically to start with.
400 a month.
So yes, unfortunately, we have to raise our prices on the water some to get us up so that we're not deficit spending.
okay.
But
All right.
your CID tax on your paperwork went down. So
It's
I don't.
it's 721.
I don't see how it went down.
But
It's 721.
It's at 721, it used to be almost 2,000.
Oh, the CI, oh,
Yeah.
Just the
so
CID portion, because that's all we
Right,
can
and
control.
correct.
I don't know about the,
Oh, I'm talking about, so I need to go to the county because that's where it raised then.
And you're not, and you know how that's gonna go.
Schools and everything,
Yeah.
nowhere.
and the fire, and the fire department.
But I appreciate you bringing this
All
up
right,
because I can help
I
clear
appreciate
things.
you taking the time. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Yeah.
Steve Gunther, Orchid Cove, board member. I did a similar type analysis. I think mine will be a little clearer. I looked at my taxes from 2024 and 2025. I only looked at the POI portion of the non-ad valorem. As Dan reflected already, for a condo, in 2024, they paid $1,899.63. That dropped in 2025 to $721.26. Okay, that's a difference of $1,178.37. Now, the part, I haven't got a water bill yet, but just so you, as I understand it, we pay $128.38 for the water and $128.38 for the sewer every 2 months. So that's $256.76 every 2 months. That's what should be on my water bill plus any taxes or something like that. So is that right? Does that match what you guys think?
Plus consumption.
Yeah, plus consumption, of course. I'm just trying to do base fees. So that comes out, if you multiply that times 6, it comes out to $1,540.56. And all I'm giving you guys is another data point of how my water bill was affected by this change, okay? So now I'm paying $1,540.56 a year base charge, whereas before I was paying $1,178.37, not accounting for if I pay my taxes early and getting a deduction on that. So that's a difference of $362.19, which if I take that as a percentage, that's a 30% increase for my water bill. Just a data point for you.
Okay. I got a question for you. I owned Orchid Cove.
Yeah.
And when I sold, my quarterly HOA fee was $863. What is it now?
I don't think that's appropriate for this meeting. I don't know why would I tell them?
I'm just talking about price increases.
Well,
Everything's gonna cost more, and we
Yeah.
finally, we
and
haven't
I can
addressed
tell you
it.
exactly why. I'll tell you offline, but I don't really want to
Well, I
announce
mean-
to the world what our quarterly fees are.
I know it is, I looked it up,
Okay, then why are
So-
you asking me?
because I wanted you to prove that it was, you know,
I'll tell you,
it's
you know,
double.
I lived there when it was $800, and I can tell you exactly why it went up.
Well,
It went
it
up
had-
because
it-
of,
things
let me
go-
tell you why it went up. Let me finish. It went up because our insurance costs went from $88,000 a year to over $300,000 a year. That's for property insurance, things like that. So that's what it went up, okay?
Well, I get it, but you don't think we have the same type of increases?
I'm not complaining, I'm just giving you a data point. I'm just telling you
Okay,
this is
well,
what it is.
I'm trying to give you data
And that's
point
all
too.
I'm saying, okay? I'm not complaining, I'm just
Everything's
telling you this
costing
is
more.
how it affects me. It's a 30% increase, okay? I'm not complaining,
Yeah.
I'm just telling you. And you said that the non-ad valorem taxes haven't gone up in the last few years?
No,
They have.
no, I said the water rate hasn't gone up in 8 years. The
Yeah.
rate that what we
water
charge
rates
for
were-
water.
Yeah, again, I'm not complaining, I'm just giving you data.
Yeah, the non-ad valorem has been going up.
Now that
We're in
valorem has
deficit.
gone up quite a bit over the last few years. So I'm just, that's all. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
With that, item 4 today would be the review of the minutes from your October meeting that occurred on the 17th that are behind the next tab there.
What is it? It is, oh. I was thinking about what's going on over here. I didn't see any big changes that needed to be made, but I didn't spend
Yeah, I
much
reviewed
time on
them
it
all
either.
last week. And
Motion to
they were
accept.
fine. I make a motion to accept the minutes.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. It is about 9:45. If we could, Lauren, are you on by Zoom this morning?
Hi, I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you really, really well. Hey, thanks again for the accommodation this morning. Just to tee this up, the board had engaged co-counsel to review the real estate transaction for the parcel 13 between the board and Lindsay Case. There is a default of that agreement as it relates to the takedown schedule for the ERC or impact fee charges that were agreed to by that. Ms. Josephson last month had produced a legal memorandum that was reviewed and discussed briefly. In discussions with the chairman in advance of today and then this morning, he wanted to have just some further discussion about point number 1 there as to how the board wants to proceed with the default of those payments associated with the impact fee charges. And so Lauren has agreed to join us. I think her legal memorandum was well developed, and it would appear that there is a cause of action that could be brought against the purchaser if the board chose to do so. I can't recall offhand what the total value of those charges were, but it was hundreds of thousands of dollars, as I recall.
It's around 500,000, 500,000, 500,000.
Okay.
Rough.
Okay. So with that, are there any questions of Lauren? And I did, at the chairman's request, while they do not have a litigator within this firm, they have experience and use co-counsel for litigation, either with Mark Muller, the Muller Law Firm, or they also have experience working with Lenore Brakefield with the Woodward Pierce firm, who most recently has also represented you in that Pretmac lawsuit that was resolved about a month ago. So at this point, staff needs a little further direction as to whether or not you want to retain co-counsel to pursue the default against the Mr. Case involving the parcel 13.
Well, I don't think we have a choice.
Okay, I'd like to speak on that if I can. I talked to our attorney about that, Lenore. And when I talked to Lenore, she explained that she had an appointment early today and wouldn't, but she gave me some speaking points that we could talk about. One of them is that they feel, our attorneys feel that we had 30 days after the default to do something about it, or the contract would be null and void. And she feels that may be the way to go is now that contract is terminated, that we would have a better option to, when he comes back to the table to buy water rights and things like that we could charge whatever we wanted. There could be an increase in the price that we charge. We'd have some options there of how we could get our money back. She thinks that that's probably the best way that we should look at it, is that we will have a future opportunity to deal with Lindsay on that. And he will have to come back because without the water rights, his land is useless. She did not think that the contract held any grounds to sue, although she said we could sue. She said that would take a couple of years to get anything done if we sued. And her recommendation was to leave it stand. She said our chance to do anything was within 30 days of the contract, when the time was called on the contract. So that's kind of what she said.
What do you think?
I
What do I
agree.
think?
I spoke
Sorry.
with the counsel for Lindsay case earlier last week, Greg Truxton, and I believe you would be in a better position to try and work something out as he does want to.
Well, it's been 8 or 9 months now. When is he planning on doing that?
Now that he did ask if I would reach out to see if the board or Mr. Doral would be interested in setting up a meeting to discuss.
Okay. Well, as much as I hate this idea of letting this $500,000 sit out there without being able to use it or losing the interest on it, I think we have to go along with what the attorneys say. I respect what Lenore has to say. If Lenore says that's the way to go, I personally am inclined to agree with her because I don't know any better anyway. I don't know what the rest of the board thinks.
At the meeting,
I thought when we got a review back from Salvatore that they said that they thought there were parts of the contract that actually stood pretty strong. One of them being what I always called the no later than clause and things like that that would hold him to having to actually purchase the ERCs. Is that
Correct. That's how I interpret it.
that's how you interpret it, Lauren?
That's how I interpreted it, is that that specific clause was one then that you could pursue for a specific performance.
So what would you suggest? Would you wait or would you try to do something now?
I don't know the history of the matter, so personal feelings aside, I will say
Okay.
I did speak with Lindsay Case's counsel. If he's willing to discuss and we can make haste and schedule something quickly, and it's between the attorneys and the board or the board's agent, and can reach something in writing, that would be, obviously time saving. It would save money as well than going through litigation.
I personally do not want this group to go into a litigation again, if at all possible, to stay out of it. It's just a money pit, and the Prep Mac thing and all that, it's all proof of it. I mean, you go into a courtroom, you lose, no matter what. So I think that we have to do what they're suggesting and get together with Lindsay Case's attorney.
I would be happy to coordinate with that with Mr. Doral if that's something you would like me to do.
And typically for matters like this, the board will designate one of yourselves as a liaison, just so that, the board will have a representative there who also understands some of the history here. And hopefully we can do that over the next 30, 60 days, and during the holiday season and come back. But if you want to designate somebody on the board that we should work or coordinate these matters with, I think that'd be appropriate.
We have a drop dead date of having to do something by March, right? So if we can get this in and still have time to make a decision and do something about it if we choose to, we just have to make sure that we don't push the March date
The 1 year.
too close. Yeah.
Yeah. Who do you think that we should work with?
You and I have had the most discussions so far. If it's the consensus, I think that Lauren and I and Zach would continue to work with Steve on this. And nothing meaningful is going to get done next week, but we need to get something done perhaps and have that meeting the first week of December, because then everybody's going to be distracted with Christmas after that. So that'd be my suggestion.
So you need a motion, I make the motion.
Okay. To designate you and Lauren and I to see if we can't negotiate a resolution of this matter with Mr.
First
Hayes.
week of December.
Okay. Is there a second to that?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
With that, thank you. Again, Lauren, thank you and thanks for being available this morning. And I'll coordinate with you early next week to confirm a time the first week of December.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate you. Mr. Chairman, that takes us back into the regular agenda. The next item, item 5, our monthly utility operations report. Or Matt.
How are you guys?
We're good.
Okay, all operations at the facilities throughout the month were in accordance with contract and regulatory requirements. All wastewater plant requirements were met and all water distribution requirements were met. Reuse system is functioning properly. The station on the canal is unchanged, still running on 2 pumps. We received and treated 1.86 million gallons of wastewater in October, and we produced 2.69 million gallons of drinking water, and for irrigation water, we distributed 8.51 million gallons. We read 864 meters. We used 655 gallons of chlorine. We inspected all pump stations, performed motor control checks, and greased all pumps and motors. We replaced the pump in the master lift station at the plant. We repaired a leak on a service line going to meters for a home. We replaced the backflow preventer. We replaced the computer in our office, died over at the plant, so we had to replace that. We completed the rehab of the master lift station on Cage Drive, so she's in good shape for a long time. Yeah.
Matt, how are the lift stations going on Newport that we're working on?
Yep, we started the southern one. It's going good. We're trucking along. It's in bypass and it's been cleaned. It's probably in the sandblasting coating portion.
That part's done.
Oh, okay. So now it's just going to be a matter of putting it back together.
Yeah.
Yep. Out on the well road, the generator, we're having a problem with bugs and stuff, like mud daubers getting in there, so we like put screens all around the whole thing to prevent those from getting in there and make sure everything's locked up out there.
You bill us for that, right?
I mean,
No,
probably not.
No, that's not something we would.
No,
You should.
probably not.
I think you got money, we'll pay for it, so we need it.
We save it for the big stuff like lift station right now.
Okay.
I paid them properly. They know their
I
money.
know. I just want to make sure we stay fair.
Yeah, well, we appreciate that, but we try not to bill for, we try not to nickel and dime everything.
Okay, perfect.
And we replaced the seals on the recycle pumps behind the plant. They started leaking and we had to have some gaskets custom made. On our last check, when I went out there last to check the operation of the generator on the well road, I noticed that the transfer switch was not working automatically. So after, when was the generator put in out there? Ian or?
Last perfect.
Ian. You have a new generator put in out there, but we did not put in a new transfer switch. And that's what automatically detects when the power goes out and transfers to the generator. So it still turns the generator on, but it doesn't actually switch over. Yeah, so what I'm alluding to is that we had our generator company that we use for you guys come out, take a look at it. It's a Cummins one, and they're pretty pricey, and we can only get parts through them, and it was gonna be like $8,000 or $9,000 to just repair it. So I said, can you give us a quote on a new automatic transfer switch? So a new one is $16,000, and it's more generic parts, but it has a 10-year warranty. So we sent an invoice or an estimate. I don't know if it got distributed in the meeting or not, but
Did not. I did run it past Jared, our engineer, just on pricing. I have not heard back from him yet.
okay.
Should we make a motion to accept putting in that new transfer?
Yes, I'll make the motion.
You want to second it?
Put out.
I'll second it. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Good.
Great. Man, you guys are easy to work with.
Oh,
The water meters, have we had, since you put water meters in, have we ever had a bad water meter?
Not that I know of.
Isn't that amazing?
Not one.
No, and we did another community in Port Charlotte of 4,000. We've had 0 failures as well.
Yeah. And we've had,
So when people question whether or not their meters are correct,
Never.
yeah, okay, good enough.
We've had
Great.
people question, and we come out and pick up another meter or two
Yeah.
and run them in line, and they're identical.
Great.
Just so we have it on record, you're gonna turn off the flush
Yep,
on that
Yes.
street so that we can repair that, so Soto can repair the swales.
yes, ma'am. As soon as I leave here, I'm gonna shut that off.
Great, all
Um,
right.
did you want to tell us about the,
Too.
I'll call them.
Okay, great.
about the,
Sure, I can. We supplied a quote to have all the piping under the bridge on 41 sandblasted, cleaned, and coated with epoxy coating, which is not something we do, so we used a company, I had a company quote that we use for everything else. We put it there, and then we supplied a quote for new piping done in HDPE. It's a heavy duty, the same piping we're gonna use for the well. And I think the new piping was around 170,000, and I think to have what you have recoated was in the $80,000 range.
I think it's a no-brainer.
what happened to the original quote that we had for $1 million more?
It's crazy.
No, I think that was the well fill road.
Uh-uh.
Oh, there was a,
Yeah, we had an
I hate to
estimate.
tell you that,
Why are you telling us that?
because he's already done it.
I don't know where those numbers come from. That is so unrealistic.
That's just out there.
I would like to make a motion that we accept to replace the pipes
Replace
for
it,
the,
yes.
for the $170,000. I mean, to me, that's an absolute no-brainer.
Second it.
Can I ask a question? Can I ask a question first here with Mitch? Mitch, you're putting in HDPE. There was some talk about that being in the sunlight all the time and being plastic. Is that, what's the shelf life? Buried, it's 100 years. In the sun, how does that change it?
I'm told 40 years in the sun before you ever have to worry about anything.
I wonder if they could wrap it and get you more.
Maybe.
I don't know. Well, you'll figure that out.
Maybe.
Anyway, I seconded it.
Is there any other discussion on this? Why didn't you do it?
So that will be the headache because we will have to have some scheduled shutdowns
Mhm.
and scheduled boil water notices.
Okay.
So my preference would be to do it in the spring or the summer, not in the height of your season, but we could do it over the winter. I mean, it
If
doesn't
there's
matter.
not a
There's no
situation where we're gonna see a failure,
Personally went and looked at what's over there.
Yeah.
It's not horrible. I mean, it
Okay.
is rusted, but it's not horrible.
So we could wait till June, July, and do it.
This is the US 41 bridge
Yes, sir.
crossing, and it includes the straps and the brackets to be refinished.
Stainless steel, yeah, and the MOT, because we'll be working alongside of the bridge.
Okay, can you just send me a copy of that?
Yes, sir, I sent it to Kevin, but I'll send it to you as well.
Because just yesterday, I contacted your insurance company to add the value of that to our insurance schedule, because we determined that it had not previously been separated as a line item. And so the net effect of the premium increase is going to be drastically less for this price as opposed to the price we put on it.
sure.
Perfect. Thank you.
That was great news.
Nope.
I mean, seriously great news.
You guys have any other questions?
No, thank you for the great job you guys are doing.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So you want to go back to your motion?
Oh, motion on the table is to accept, to replace the water pipes for that roughly $170,000. We've got a first and a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I'm sorry, who made the second?
I did.
Who made the motion?
You did.
I did? Okay. My memory's short, like within seconds.
Yeah, when I get the receipt and the backup, then next month I'll also ask you for a budget amendment so that we can move some money
Absolutely.
out of the reserve and into the capital expense to get that capital.
Very good.
I've got a couple of verbal updates here. I'm down to item 6 now on the manager's report. I just received a agreement with Russ Wire to do your methodology update, following conversations that he and I, and initially Mr. Kish, and then subsequently Mr. McNamee had for 2 tasks. The first task would be an update to address certain methodology revisions for things like double lots was the prime example that we gave him. I think we may have asked him to go back and research commercial wet slips in the marina and the impacts as a commercial eco tour or fishing guide might have. So he's got a short list of things like that to do some evaluation. And then the second thing, and I believe more important, is to put a value on your ERC capital charge, or what I call an impact fee, so that going forward, new construction or reconstruction of more intensive use, we'll actually have a board-adopted fee schedule for water, wastewater, and irrigation impact fees, because there's no indication that any of that has ever been done here. And so the charges that were even made for certain real estate transactions were negotiated with the board, and this was something I felt that the board had been pretty clear that you wanted to accomplish early this year. So
We're gonna need it when we do Lindsay's thing.
So I'm
We're
gonna
gonna
go
have to be able
ahead,
to justify it. Yeah.
and you previously authorized this work. We were not aware that Russ would have the ability to undertake it, but he has, and I just received that this week. So we'll be moving forward to have a pre-engagement conference and address any other issues that he might have, but I thought that was good news.
Yeah.
Also, associated with the October utility billing, I try to keep you guys updated. I'm down to item B here now. The current 30-day utility receivables is down to $2,800, and that's really, really good. On $1.5 million operation and the billing schedule that we have, the current active receivables are almost insignificant, and we've been trending in the right direction there. Item C today, and I had also just received some of the background. I'd also got some correspondence from Mr. Gunther, is the issue with the Orchid Cove streetlights. And I put the minutes and some backup information there based off of the board's discussion last month at the meeting. For whatever reason, there was a historical arrangement between that community and former boards to have the CID pay their streetlight bill to offset certain charges they had with respect to either irrigation or makeup water at their community swimming pool. And I think the short answer is that we now have identified, we get a master bill every month, but we have the backup information now to segregate those bills associated with those streetlights. And working with the condominium association, it was my understanding that you wanted to cease that activity and revise the billing for the various accounts that are in question here as soon as possible. And I just want you to know that's in progress.
I thought we referenced, I figured that out, that it was still like, they had like 3 years to go or something like that.
Well, and somebody brought up to me the fact too that, part of that was we were supposed to still use their community center without paying for it, right? But
Right.
immaterial of that. Some people were saying, and this agreement is on the website under this agenda packet here, if anybody wants to see it. It was done in 2020. Back then, the president was Davis, and the secretary who signed off on it was, what's her name? Terry O'Connell. So we know what the agreement was, and just trying to remember offhand, I think the number at that time was around like $45,000 that they felt that we had overcharged for. Our attorney at that time told the board, statute of limitations is run on that, we aren't required to give them anything. But the board decided we're going to do the right thing and we're going to offset this with the water, with the bill thing. But they never put into this when this ends. We know how many years it's been paid, we can figure out how much it is, and I think we're within less than $10,000. And the person who talked to me about it suggested, why don't we just figure out how much it was, write them a check for the difference that they, you know, and move on. Is that something that you guys would agree? What do you think?
More fair than this current settlement agreement.
Well, and it would be off the plate.
Yeah.
Well, it's gonna be off the plate for the next board or whoever it falls on too. You know what I mean? Get
I
somebody
mean,
else.
if we don't deal with it now.
Right.
Of course.
And then Orchid Cove has the money to do whatever they
What
want.
do you think, Steve?
You guys want my input?
Please come up.
Great, thanks. Appreciate the opportunity to discuss this with you guys. And I'm all for making an amicable solution. I've been working on this for probably 6 months. Tried to partner with you guys for months. I've reached out to Neil. I made him 3 or 4 emails, asked him to call me so we can discuss it ahead of this meeting, but he never did.
Okay.
He's a busy man.
Just keep
Whatever.
moving on, yeah.
So, I was able to get a copy of your bill. I did a complete analysis. Unfortunately, you're getting to know me a little bit, but I'm kind of a detailed guy, so I apologize for that. The issue that I think the root issue here, and you know, quite honestly, it pisses me off that anybody signed up to pay that much for the decorative light poles. I can't change that.
I know.
Okay, but I think the real issue is that LCEC is using this as a cash cow and overcharging. If I look at the differences between the bill, and I don't want to go through it in here, it's criminal what they're charging.
But
Okay?
we can't change it.
Yes, we can.
Oh,
We go and meet with LCEC and say, we can do a rate review with them, and that's what I've been trying to do. But I can't do that because I only have 2 light poles on mine, and I'm trying to get them moved over. Now, we all agree, I think, that the CID pays for lights, street lights across the whole community, right? Okay, so really the difference is the upcharge of what they're charging for decorative poles
Yes.
and also light bulbs. I can look on your bill, and there's a 150 watt HPS bulb that is charged at $5.96 a month. I can look at my bill, that 150 watt HPS bulb is being charged at $14.17 a month.
yeah.
What the F, right? Oh, and then and then on top of that, they've upgraded some to LED, right? On your bill, the LEDs are $10.22 a month, and the Orchid Cove ones are $29.68 a month.
But yours are fancier.
3 times again.
Oh, yes. No, it's ridiculous.
So here's the thing. Go ahead.
Just finish. What I'd like to do is partner with Neil or whoever represented on CID. We go to LCEC, we set up a face-to-face meeting, because you call people on the phone, they just say, that's what the rate is.
I agree.
And then we talk to them and try to get a reasonable rate that works for everybody. And then this just goes away.
Well, no, it doesn't, because we still got the difference of what you guys have recouped because of what we've been paying on the decorative thing, and how much you were shorted at that time.
Okay.
What I'm trying to get, now this is a whole different thing, what you're talking about, yeah, we want
I'll
to
let
fix
you
that,
finish,
yes.
I'll give you my
But what I want to do is I want to put, you know, this old agreement that we had with no ending to it and all that sort of stuff, I want to say, how much are you guys still short?
Yeah.
You know, and write a check for it and be done with it. And then we move on to what you're saying and hold the light company to the right rates.
Yeah, I mean, it all should be maintenance at this point. Okay, so
Would you be in agreement with that type of thing?
I personally don't have a problem with that. Obviously, I'm only
Your
a
board,
member on the
your board,
board.
yeah.
But, so I can't speak for the whole board, but I think,
Yeah,
in my personal opinion, I think that's a fair way to do it. Because nobody wants to,
No, we're done with this.
I mean, we can go to LCC and say, you guys are creating this big controversy in our community because of this unfair pricing practices. So let's just clean it up.
Yeah.
And so
go to your board
we
and
can
see
get
if
that taken care of.
they would agree to that, and
Well,
let's move that way.
let's first try to go to LCEC and get a meeting with them and then make it all go away. Now I understand, okay,
So we can
so
move both
just,
at the same time, yes.
yeah, so just so you know, I did some research as well of the history of that agreement. And what had happened is, people I talked to was, there's an amount of money that Orchid Cove was overcharged because they're supposed to be getting a commercial rate and they're getting charged at a retail rate. And so it was X amount of money, and the CID didn't have the money, and this was the agreement that was put in place.
I agree.
And so it's kind of weird that, you know, I think we're in agreement that's kind of a stupid agreement with no end date.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think it's fair to try to hold you guys to that.
Yeah.
Personally,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But, you know,
Right.
So let's see if we can work through it. Let's
I'm willing to
partner
figure it out.
and resolve the problem instead of,
I agree with all of it.
okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
thank you.
Thank you. So Neil, are you the guy that we can get to?
Or a member of my staff, I'd rather go get a root canal than drive to North Fort Myers to the
Well,
courthouse.
you'll need both. You'll need both, but when they're charging us, thousands of dollars a year on.
We'll get Kevin to go with
Yeah,
us.
we'll
That
we'll
poor
have-
devil, he ain't here to defend himself, so we'll make him go.
Okay, so have Kevin get a hold of me, we'll reach out, I'm gonna drive up there and probably go walk in the door and say, and show them the bill and say, we need to get this resolved.
Well, let's sit
That
down
sounds
before we go in there and decide how we're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
tackle.
That's perfect.
Okay.
I'd love to
All right.
partner with Kevin and you
All right,
guys.
let's move on. Thank you though, appreciate it.
Matt,
One other question? So this has been going on for at least 5 years. Market Cove was built in 17, so that's 18 years. Why are we dealing with this? Why didn't someone look at the difference in the bills 10 years ago and say, what the heck are these guys doing? Now, I don't know if they've just been doing this over the last few
Who's on
years.
the board?
I don't know.
That's exactly what it is.
So,
They
so,
didn't
so
pay
my
attention
question
to
to
it.
you is, and my question to you is, all these boards around here, all these community boards have a treasurer. You guys don't. And I wonder why. Because if I wasn't treasurer and I dug into these bills, we all live here. It's our money that's being paid. I mean, Neil's a great guy. He pays the bills. Our management company's great. They pay the bills. They make sure they get paid. But they don't look at the bills to see what's in them. And so I would encourage you guys to have someone go through all your bills, because I did it at Orca Cove, and you wouldn't believe the crap I found. And same thing, stuff like this.
You're hired.
I don't want to. Okay, I just wanted to bring that point up to you guys to think about it. Is,
All good, all fair, I agree. And like I said, you're hired.
Matt had already addressed item D, which was that lift station rehab that is underway, so that, I believe, takes us down to item 7, which are the financials, and these are the preliminary year-end financials for the year that we just closed as of the end of September of 2025. Just kind of an overview here. At the close of business at the end of the year, we had right at $5.2 million in cash, $5,186,000 to be exact, which remains really strong cash position. In addition, I should indicate that the other fixed assets, net of depreciation of our utility system and the other infrastructure and land is an additional $7.8 million. So total assets on hand at the end of the year, $13,077,000. There were $93,000 in payables that were on the liability portion of the balance sheet that are also portrayed there. On the next page, the income statement for the year. Couple of things. Really good year for interest income. We ended up year-to-date in the general fund, $154,000 in interest earnings for the year. Very high rate of collection on the non-ad valorem assessments. Almost 97% of assessments were received. The difference being discounts that were taken for early payment. $854,000 against a budget of $878,000. So really strong position. On the expense side, and we've talked about this throughout the year, operationally we were over budget, primarily due to professional fees, legal fees, and engineering fees with litigation that for the most part now has been fully resolved. But we ended up being right at $107,000 in legal and engineering fees for the year.
A lot of that was for FEMA too.
Some of that, yeah. And some other engineering costs are reflected on the utility side where you undertook a large series of capital improvements over the course of the year, especially related to the disc filter. We had some minor increases in your commercial insurance package. You remember we changed carriers.
We were underinsured.
We were
severely.
grossly underinsured. but the final all-in cost for that, we were $5,000 over budget on the insurance premium, but for a much better product that was there. Under our operations and maintenance on the field side, we were actually $7,000 below budget. We were slightly over budget again on landscape and costs associated with repairs to the irrigation system. We were slightly over budget there. Under budget on our road and sidewalk maintenance, obviously under budget on mosquito control because we were annexed into the mosquito control district. And then we were under budget on the capital side. We had originally contemplated at the beginning of the year that we were going to undertake some sort of landscape enhancement at the primary entrance. That work was postponed. We did not tap our operating contingency this past year, and we funded the capital reserve transfer. But all in, we ended up being right at $517,000 below budget for the reasons that I mentioned. And so I think that when we get the audit work done, it'll be this spring, we'll come back and give you the final numbers there. Nothing really significant to talk about on the utility side, but they're part of the record here today.
And we weren't trying to be $500,000 under budget. The problem with it is there's things that we want to put in, capital improvements, that because of how the system works, we haven't been able to start them, like replacing the water tank, the water lines, all that stuff. That's all going to come out of this, but it's been delayed. So to say that we're $500,000 under budget, yeah, we are, but that was
It just rolled over.
yeah, it'll be rolled over to next year, but we would rather have done the capital improvements, but we were waiting on FEMA and all these other things. And with that being said, while you're still here, Mitch, I was wondering about that water tank out there. We need to put a new roof on the one, and we want to build one, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, after seeing your bills here, is that something that you can work on? Come on.
We can do the piping, but we're not paying.
Okay, all right. Where are we on that?
I don't know.
So that was in discussion with the engineering company.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah,
And then I think Dan was chasing after a grant for it.
yeah.
And I think it just kind of got put on hold maybe until some funding came in.
I suppose this government shutdowns pushed us
I
back.
can,
The engineer asked us.
I could speak on that if you like.
Oh, please.
We are going through with our 404 money for the tank, which means that it's a state. All the money comes through FEMA, but the FEMA allots the states some money, and it's a different grant program. We're in that grant program for the new water tank, and we're thinking that as soon as we can get that new water tank started, that grant money's pretty much there. We're finalizing some things with 404 to get that started. So if we can get the new tank up, once that's up and in use, we could take the other one out of service to redo the roof. So that was kind of the plan on that, and that's moving forward. As far as our water line goes, that goes from the wellhead. That's under appeal right now. There were some things that happened this week. It's being looked at right now, whether the appeal is going to go through or not. We also have a backup grant program for that with the 404 monies. So it's going to happen. It's just a matter of working through the details on that as to which grant pool we get the money from FEMA. And FEMA has slowed things down. They've kind of come to a crawl here with the government shutdown and things. So hopefully that gets moving here again real quick.
Thank you. Is there a motion to accept the September financials?
I make the motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye.
Thank you. That takes us down to,
I have a question I could ask. Bob Moser, Newport Drive, is that financial report, year-end financial report going to be, or is it available on the CID website?
yes, and we
It's
also,
available now?
yes, it will be. And then the audited financials will be on there this spring. That takes us down to item 8. Zach, are you on this morning?
I am, thank you.
Yeah, go ahead with the attorney's report.
Sure. First and foremost, Representative Lauren Mello agreed to come speak with you all at your December meeting. For that, I'd recommend giving her a time certain if you could. That way she knows when to be here. This was in part as part of the conversation about the fire district participation. But I think it's also just in general a good idea for you all to have the representative in front of you before session starts in case there's other things you'd like to discuss with her. So if you could, I'd like to give her a time certain. If not, she's expecting to be at the December meeting. Separately, the post-trial motions are being finalized for filing to pursue attorney's fees in the Prep Mac case. And when that has been filed and set for hearing, will be updated. I don't know if Lenore has joined or not, but if she has more detail on that, and she has, she can provide it. But that's all being worked through on that point. And other than that, we're continuing to work with the manager on the various items on the task list.
Zach, if we wanted to talk to Lauren about a couple other things that we brought to her attention quite a while back, is that possible? Do we have to kind of give her a heads up on that if there's another item or two we want to talk to her about?
Yeah, there's not a specific protocol, but I do think it would be a good idea to give her a heads up of the agenda so that she's prepared to talk about it. So if you could let me know, or there's Neil and I and her are in an email right now, kind of just getting some of the logistics done. So if you give me some parameters besides the fire district, I would love to pass that along to her because it would help her prepare better.
I'll get some information to you.
Great. Yep.
And again, the primary reason for the invitation was as a result of Mr. Kish's request last month to petition or provide her with information concerning annexation into the Greater Naples Fire District.
Correct. And so that's what she's thinking about. But if there's more, we can get it to her. Session starts in January, so this is a good time to just get her attention right before it starts. She tried to come today, but had some scheduling issues on that point.
Anybody else have any questions for our attorney?
Where are we at with the demand letter about the arsenic and lead that was...
Yeah, this is one of those items that we're working with Neil on to get. We're trying to find a base contract. I think it was a prior manager base contract, so there was some record diving that had to be done. But as soon as we have it,
Zach, we have determined that that vendor was not engaged by the district. That was a pass-through expense of the Florida utility systems to do the groundwater monitoring program. So district was not a party to that specific agreement. I believe that FES has provided some background information on that and may have also had a conversation with Mr. Truckee. I don't know whether that's actually taken place or not.
No, I had a conversation with Mitch this morning on the phone, and he wanted to have a meeting with the board after this, and I got to thinking about that. We really can't do that. We almost have to discuss it during an open meeting because we can't have two supervisors together on our own.
That'll be fine.
Now, from what I understood this morning is he was under the understanding that the lead and arsenic levels in one of the wells was still above acceptable rates, but that the wells were mislabeled, so the position of where those things were happening were. But it was my understanding that the analysis were done incorrectly in their lab and came up with incorrect numbers.
That is not my understanding. So we went back and pulled the last several years of sample results, and the samples came back almost always above the MCL for lead in one particular well. And here you can see the wells are labeled. Here are 4 wells. This is the one that's in question, which is right back by the gun club. Well, when they were mislabeled, so they were writing on their paperwork that it was this well, but they were physically taking the sample from this well. So that is the miscommunication. Those numbers were incorrect, but the samples are correct.
So where did this come up that they were improper at the lab?
Oh, yeah, it came up. I remember we talked about it because we were going to go after the lab for reimbursement for faulty reporting.
And I think the confusion is, it's not that the sample was bad, it's the well location was bad.
I got a question for you.
Sure.
Our well water comes from way the heck out. Why are they testing these in close?
DEC does to test wastewater. They're to make sure we're not contaminating the ground around Port of the Islands from the wastewater discharge.
And that our water treatment plant isn't, letting contaminants out under the property and all those sorts of things.
Okay, so they're okay with that lead?
So the lead is above MCL, but it is not at a level that the DEP has ever said anything about.
And now that well, there used to be a shotgun range there on the outside where it is now. There's just a light pole there now.
Okay.
If you go look at the old aerial photographs, you can see the outline of it, that it used to be there.
Okay.
And I'm wondering, is this well in that area, and it's getting lead from years ago leaching down, and that's where it's actually coming from?
So that could very well be possible, but my personal opinion, the reason the DEP has never said anything, because those numbers are not uncommon for South Florida.
So when MI Holmes backed out thinking that we had a problem with our lead and arsenic,
If they could have just come in here for 5 minutes and sat down and talked with us, we could have explained what we're explaining right now.
well, I'll go back to them and talk to them about it, because I catch up with them every so often to see if they're gonna move ahead, and I'll relay that message to them.
So
All right, thank you.
this is the first time I'm hearing this information. Am I understanding that we're not moving forward with the demand letter based on that information?
Correct.
Yeah, we would not be moving ahead.
Okay.
Mitch.
Well, thank you for the clarification.
Mitch, if I may, Mitch, I went through that, when we thought that the wells, the numbers had gotten mixed up, it was very simple coding the data, looking at it and seeing when it switched and when we got it switched back. It was pretty easy to tell that a couple of the numbers on the wells got messed up somewhere. All right? Because one of the wells that never had a high reading all of a sudden had the high readings that the other well had, right? And they switched, and then the one that had the high readings went clean, and there's no way that groundwater changes that fast.
But
Okay.
it was the number being inverted, the well itself remained the same.
Yes, they got the numbers mixed up though.
I went back to Benchmark and asked, and then I went back to Benchmark's person that takes the samples and said, hey, are you sampling from this well on the map back by the gun club? And when they showed me their map shows that one in the back as well MWB-20409. And it's actually MWI 48472. So even though they were taking it and labeling it MWB-204-409, they're taking it from the one back by the gun club. And if you go back there right now and take the sample, you'll see that it's still elevated. The MCL is 15. The sample for October was 16.9, and it's went as high as 60.
And that's why it was so concerning for the people from Orchid Cove, because under that scenario, that lead and arsenic was moving towards them.
So
because the mislabeled well was
correct, if it was moving toward them, but it makes sense that if you have high lead, you would think it's close to the gun club.
Yes.
And that is the one that has the high number. But again, those numbers are high, but they're not uncommon.
So for the folks at Orchid Cove that were under the impression that maybe we were having some problems that were getting close to you, it was mislabeled, and those numbers are back at the gun club.
And to take it a step further, we've been plowing through the permit, and we have to go to the DEP. I can show you. We're pretty sure that even though this is what's issued on the DEP permit, those numbers should be changed again to a whole different set of numbers that the DEP recognizes it as.
Okay.
But again, the one thing that is common, the high lead results are in that well back by the gun club.
Good.
I know, Mitch, you said that that's normal for our area, but I don't know that that's true, because we had some extremely high numbers back there.
I didn't say normal, I said not uncommon. I said for South Florida. if you were to go onto Oculus and look and pull up a bunch of the monitoring wells, you would see that there are some in LaBelle that have high lead. There are some throughout Lee County that have high lead, Charlotte County. So maybe not common, but it's not uncommon either.
Right, but we were up to 1,000. There's a reading or two that go back a couple of years where it was toward 1,000 or higher. I mean, it was really high. So that was all given. That was all given to the DEP. I can't tell you how many times I passed that data to the DEP.
No, I know, absolutely. I remember. Sure.
And I passed the same data to rural water when they did the study that the DEP looked at. That was all there, and the DEP doesn't want to do a thing about it. They don't even want to touch it. They just wash their hands of it.
At all.
Okay.
I'm just clarifying the location.
If they didn't, that's one of the things when I just said we wanted to talk about to Lauren Mello, that's one of the items that we brought up to her a long time ago, and she kind of didn't seem to care too much. But those are the things some of the things that I wanted to go through with them, because the DEP should do something about that. We paid for the additional testing. When we brought in the crew to come in and do the additional testing of the groundwater there, we were paying to verify that data was correct. Those are the people that said the numbers were wrong. But if the test numbers, if the well numbers were mixed up, but the tests were done correctly, then we still have the problem we thought we had before, and it's got to be addressed.
Yes, you still have the problem of high lead in the monitoring well back by the gun club. Absolutely. But again, I can pull, I brought December's, I'm sorry, not December's, October's, the MCL is 15 and we were 16.9. But as I go back, I can see it's went up as far as 60 in the last year or two that I have. And maybe it's been to 1,000. I don't know that. But I can go back as far as you like if you want me to and try to put it on a spreadsheet.
All right. Thanks, Mitch. I already have that on a spreadsheet. I have it color coded. I gave it to the DEP. It's been around. I'll just get that spreadsheet back out and I can tell you exactly, going back to 2015 or 16, when those levels were high, really high.
Gotcha.
But they went way back down again. Right?
I think that the numbers, I think the numbers actually, the readings, it's a hypothesis of mine, but I do believe that the Everglades restoration projects has something to do with those numbers. Because as they push more water through the ground now, we have a lot more flow in the ground. The numbers were going down. I think
Diluted.
Yeah. Okay.
That is it. The solution to pollution is dilution.
yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Zach, did you have anything further?
I did not.
Okay. Attached, there's no engineers items that are open. Attached under old business is the task list. We went back and removed many of the tasks from August and September that were complete. I don't believe there's anything here that is outstanding that needs to be reviewed. Some of the things that were added today, you'll see reflected when we see you in December.
Well, it said they were gonna invite Melo to the meeting, but she can't make it.
Correct. And
Can she ever make it?
she's now confirmed for the December meeting.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And we talked about having her up at the top of the agenda, maybe as part of the public comment, and that's already confirmed in writing.
Cool. All right.
Any other supervisor reports?
We also had, we were talking about the mosquito trailer.
Yeah, Zach I spoke to their office yesterday. They're drafting a resolution of the board to declare that surplus at the December meeting for purposes of either incorporating it into my auction that I have at the Laley Community Development District. We're seeing if we could piggyback the county as a big annual auction, and they actually hire an auctioneer and sell off equipment there. And I just think that'll be the approach. But we're working on that.
Yeah, we have that resolution already drafted. What we're just trying to track down is some identification numbers for the trailers, some of the physical identifying features of this, and then based on the value of the underlying objects, they can either be auctioned off or disposed of, depending on how much they're worth.
Hey Russ, does the mosquito spray trailer, does it have a tag on it?
It does not. It does not.
Okay.
Hey, Dan, have we received those generator trailers yet?
We have not. That's some of it that got held up with FEMA. That was supposed to go through here. We should be getting them, but it got held up. I'll get back into that and see where it's at now that the government's working again.
Okay. Do we have any other stuff that we don't use that we should put in these auctions?
You have to ask these guys.
You have a container, we have that container back there that's not being used, that's really it.
Wasn't that like $13,000 for that container of spray?
Yeah.
It's expensive, isn't it? $8,000?
An ocean-going container? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
It's a piece of junk, though.
Oh, no, I'm talking about the chemical spray.
Oh, the chemical itself?
Yeah.
I'm not sure, the chemical's super expensive.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. Does that go to auction too? I mean, I don't know.
All personal property will
Well,
be.
it's just that we should get it out of there. I mean, it's.
Well, yeah, at a minimum, maybe we offer it to the mosquito control
Yeah.
district as an in-kind contribution or something like that.
Whatever you want to do, we should just get rid of it.
Yeah, I don't want
Once you declare it surplus on each item, if it's basically worth more than $5,000, it has to be auctioned. Otherwise, the manager can dispose of it in the most economical way he deems fit, which would include potentially just giving it to the mosquito control district.
it's
You
more,
have to have a license to buy it.
Right.
so it's a controlled substance.
Yes, it can't go to auction.
Okay, I'm gonna make it available to the mosquito control district, otherwise
Yeah,
we'll
get it out there.
dispose of it.
Every Lake City uses the same chemical and the same machine.
Okay.
If we need a place for it to go, we can give it to them.
That would be good.
That'd be preferred.
Yeah,
Yes,
Okay,
yeah.
we just need to
if
get
y'all
a
don't mind just
license
bird
and,
dogging that down then.
Sure.
Any other supervisor requests?
Well, go.
I have in my notes, something about the hotel property, something going on, November the 14th.
This hotel,
Old hotel property.
not to my knowledge.
There was something going on, I wrote it in my notes, so I don't know what.
I'm not aware.
Two is that Greg Truxton and Lindsay Case, I think we're trying to meet with the county about Lindsay acquiring that parcel, and we were aware of that date, but I don't know if anything's changed.
So Lindsay's trying to buy the old hotel property for the county. We want to make sure we're ahead of that.
I've got down 11/14, whatever, why.
That's probably when Lindsay's got set up to meet with the county would be my guess, and he wanted us to participate as well. The other two things that I mentioned was the security measures here.
Yeah.
Does anybody, Mr. Lee, did you want to give any input on that, or,
since we can't get anybody to bid on it, or even give us any information, can we form some kind of task?
Kevin Carter did reach out, and we have a pretty good relationship with the community policing officer in this district. And, maybe that would be at least some information that we could avail ourselves from and, get some proposals from the sheriff in lieu. This has to do with, originally the board had asked us to prepare an RFQ for a security assessment. We sent it to a wide variety and noticed it.
and then
No responses.
they did a straw poll or something too, where they got people 100 and some people wanted that, right?
That's over about 154 now.
So is there anything else you want to add to this?
No, simply it's an ongoing concern. The community, rightfully so, is articulating diverse opinions. We see it all the time. We should have satellites, unicorns, gates, policemen. And I understand that, and we should have diversity of opinion. But somewhere in the midst of all this discussion, I think we know that 150-something people are concerned. And I applaud this board's effort in putting out the RFP. Is there no response? but the issue's still there. And I simply wanted to, again, call it the attention of maybe there's other solutions. Maybe instead of unified solution, there's regional optional solutions for different areas. I don't know. But I don't have a magic wand or an answer, but certainly I think all the discussion is healthy. The people that say no to A and no to B, but yes to C, that's good. We get lots of opinion, but I do think some professional input would be helpful. And I thank you for your consideration.
I had an incident 2 weeks ago, I told you about it.
You what?
An incident 2 weeks ago, I had this unmarked lawn care truck come down my street, one guy in it, hat, glasses, mask. Okay, he was there, he got out of his truck, looked around, no other workers with him, pulling a trailer, everything was unmarked. He left, okay. So then I'm leaving like 2 hours later, and he pulls up again. And I'm heading down the street, and I'm looking at my rearview mirror, and he's just sitting there. Again, nobody with him. And I didn't see any lawn care guys in the area. So I come back, and I sat right in front of him. He got out of his truck, closed the back door, got out and left the development.
Did you take a photograph?
I didn't.
So
I
that's
didn't
something
even
I would
notice
like
he
to
had a
encourage
license
the
plate.
people here. If you see something that's odd, if nothing else, pull out your cell phones and take a bunch of pictures, especially if you can get license plates or anything else, because you never know when it's gonna be important.
I definitely think he was casing the area.
Exactly.
He was going down each street, I think, and just sitting there figuring out what he was gonna do. But I mean, you couldn't see him. He had a camouflage mask on, glasses and a hat.
Yeah.
Couldn't even see his face at all. But I thought we had, we're gonna do something with the sheriff's department at least, with that, get pictures of everybody's phone. Is that completely off the table, or what happened to that? So,
License plate readers?
yeah, something like that.
We just haven't gone anywhere with this thing.
Alright, so.
Well, we do know that research that 33% more burglarization happens in non-gated communities.
It's a deterrent, even if
It's a deterrent.
one way or another. It's a
And the
deterrent.
insurance company, one of the first questions they ask you when you buy insurance is, do you live in a gated community? Because they offer a 5% discount if you do. So,
Well, then we need to get moving on this instead of kicking the can down.
But again,
I agree. How would you proceed?
I thought you said you got an RFP out there.
yeah, nobody
No,
responded.
nobody.
We advertised it twice, we sent email requests to a wide variety of consultants and providers. Again, I think that the next best step would be to meet with the sheriff's department and their community policing officer and let them identify maybe some vendors who provide equipment to them, license plate readers or other security cameras, and see if we can at least bring back some business points.
Yeah,
for you guys.
there may be some like administrative and physical.
We went to Car Defense. What
Did
happened?
you work with them?
A while
You
ago.
down on that? Let's have Kevin,
Okay.
and try to follow, yeah, let's keep moving on this. Let's not let it fall through the cracks.
give me the number of who we're working with the sheriff's department.
Yeah.
But like I said, what happened with Car Defense? They gave us estimates
You
and
know,
everything.
$70,000 for
Yeah.
For how many?
3 points.
3 points?
I think we can get Mitch to do it a lot cheaper.
And Union Road, Newport, and Case.
Make me feel bad.
I don't think that's bad.
No,
Well,
it's not bad at all.
I
Yeah,
don't think
question.
that, if it's still 70 grand, that was.
Right, I can call and get an update.
Yeah.
Somebody sent me an email. I didn't bring my laptop, so I can't remember the name, but the sign in the beginning of Newport, it's never lit. Is that ours, or is that the hotels? I mean, when you
Actually,
pull into here.
I think it's our sign, but we're using, his electricity.
That's what I thought.
And I know at one point he was having problems with the electricity in that building. Now, that's another thing to bring up. He said if we wanted to have if we don't want to have our meetings in here, we could have them over there too. He's offered to let us use that building if we want that building too, which, maybe we set that up to where we could have some community events in there, even without meetings or something, I don't know. Just a thought, but
When you drive past here, it's dark.
is it?
Yeah.
Well, let's get that addressed
So-
too.
Well, the tower's
Oh, I
still
don't know
there,
who
too.
Who am I talking to about that? Tom? It's very dark there.
I'll talk to him. I'll
In
work on it.
addition to not having the sign lit up, I think, in addition to having the sign lit up, I think we need a little bit more lighting there.
I'll go
It's
on with
very
that.
dark when you go by.
You know, driving into Kay's the other night and then the driveway into Orchid Cove with the trees wrapped, it was like, I like that.
Yeah.
I think it brings attention to the place, and I think there should be something like that over on Newport.
Yeah, I think we need to do a little bit more on Newport Drive.
Let's do it. Now, the other thing that we talked about was the community building. And I talked to you this morning about it, and evidently someone addressed you this morning about they might not let us use the bathrooms over here anymore. It sounds to me like some of these HOAs are trying to make it so that we don't have a place to have a meeting. And if that's the case, then we better start moving on figuring out what we're gonna build to have a meeting in. It seems like the same people who don't want a community center are the same people who are giving us a hard time about building a community center. Not the board.
Weren't we supposed to be getting prices? Back in September, we talked about getting prices on that sketch.
I don't remember that. We did share a elevation and a floor plan and stuff.
That we got for free.
Yeah,
Yeah. And we haven't went anywhere past that.
no.
Well, it's time to move on.
It's what?
I guess it's-
I have two community projects that are underway at the moment for other clients, one at Pelican Bay, one at Pelican Marsh, and I can share those. It's the same design build firm that's doing both of them, and I can get some range of cost per square foot for what a building like that might cost to include site work, parking, subsurface utilities and things. It is, I don't mind following up on that.
My recent thoughts on this was maybe we don't even build a full-fledged building. Maybe we build, to start with, we do a bare bones, or we have a place to put our generators in. We have a place, you know, we can have an open area in there where we can have our meetings and whatnot. But as far as building out rooms in it, putting in the little mini kitchen and all that sort of stuff, maybe that all gets done later. We just start the building, get it in, get the structure up as cheap as we can, and then I would like to see us start doing the fundraising to finish the building out, rather than putting it on our expense account. I've been saying this for years, and it's gone nowhere, but maybe once we get, you know, but that's just my opinion. Ron?
May I speak on the same matter with this? It was mentioned to me,
Name.
Ron Westerman,
Thank you.
Case Drive. It was mentioned that we have these generators that are on trailers. We're going to put a utility building up to hold these. That utility building should have a generator, a permanent generator installed. Well, it was also thought that if we're going to do that, my thoughts, working with different sites in the past, in my working past, that we should put a generator in big enough that we can hardwire that to the lift stations. If you do that and have it automatically set up through Mitch's controls and such, that this generator that would be located at the utility/community center could kick on, pick up the lift stations. We wouldn't have to have such concern where the trailers are and getting them in. They would be backup. Always have to have a backup plan. But if you hardwire that thing in to the different main lift stations and the things that need to be wired to, it just makes good common sense to do this. We were very lucky this year that we didn't have a storm and we didn't have to go through the flooding. But I can't say that the next year or the years after that are going to be as good. We got lucky.
We'd have to look at that, because I'm gonna guess that'd be expensive to do. The way it is now, the bare bones thing is, you pull the trailer over to where you need it, you plug it in, and you move it from one station to the next. Now, I mean, you do that, but if we can afford to do that other thing, yes, but the first thing is get
the
those
building up.
trailers
I
in here.
agree, I
Yeah,
agree. Thank you.
Any other final board comments?
just give us a minute and we'll have community comments here pretty quick.
Is the CIP on the website yet?
Just the utility portion, and I don't know that we ever did further than the utility. Because I don't remember ever seeing numbers on street replacements or any of that stuff. Although, maybe the last board had one before us that showed what the money they wanted to put towards.
I'll ask Jared, your engineer, to see there is what is called a public facilities report that gets updated like every 7 years or something like that. I'll see what he can find along those lines, and
Okay.
we'll share that in December.
Okay.
The other thing is, Deb Jansen had sent me an email with some nice, really nice aerial photos. She has a friend who can take aerial photos with a plane.
Cool.
No, with plane.
Huh?
And that might be something that Dan would be interested in as well. So,
You know, I gotta say one thing too. I've been gone for 6 weeks and I came back the other night. First thing I did is took my bike and I rode around this place. I don't think this place has ever looked better than it does right now. Everything, the hotel property's all cleaned up, everything. The only place I saw that had any question at all is on Newport K where they did the pipe fixing and the drainage isn't good there.
working on it.
But that was the only, everything else, the shrubs, everything. I called up Soda and I said, man, you're doing a great job. But this community, I mean, everybody's personal homes, it looks good. You guys are doing a great job of keeping this community looking good. What else?
Let's see. I'm good.
Final public comment?
Okay, go ahead.
You got one more?
Yeah, that's all right.
Go ahead.
It's not important.
Debbie Van Wert, Keys Drive. I started thinking, what happened to the deal where we were gonna rent that land over there at the entrance of Keys Drive to somebody so that they could do some dredging?
We did.
Oh, it's done already.
They got $50,000 for that.
I just wondered.
They just haven't moved in.
No, they haven't exercised that.
Oh, okay.
We did that with the
They said
South
November.
Florida Water Management District.
Oh, okay, so it hasn't started yet?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I just.
Yeah, they paid us 50 grand for that.
Yeah, I knew that, but I just wondered.
Okay. Yeah, they just haven't showed up yet.
Kyle McKenzie, I live here on the property. Just would like to add about the community center comment. Same people that don't want a community center are not the same people that don't want you here in this space. So, we understand the CID is part of the Islands and we need y'all to do your job. How much did it cost the CID to use this room today?
Nothing.
How many hurricanes has this hotel been through without?
This is a restaurant though. When this restaurant gets put back into place, this won't be available.
You can't sign an agreement to rent out a room with the hotel or the restaurant. It's currently a restaurant right now, Thursday through Friday, Saturday.
I wasn't aware of that, but whatever.
So anyway, my question is, this hotel has survived multiple hurricanes. You're currently using this room, it works for y'all. The restrooms are still available to you. Second story up here, that could be a great place for generators. Have you reached out to the owner of this building and said, hey, this refuge of this hotel, why don't we pay you to use this as a community center?
So we're gonna put the utility generators up on second floor?
So it doesn't flood.
We have reached out about the building coming into the
hold the weight.
board, but
I'm just saying,
I understand.
these are, so we're looking at $1 million, $2 million, however much it is, $500,000 to buy that property over there, build a community center. This seems to me like this could be an effective, if it truly is an emergency community center, no better building than right here to be an emergency.
Find a hotel is what he's saying.
No, I'm suggesting you reach out to the business owner
Yeah.
and you reach out and have a contract of how you would use this as an emergency, if that's really what y'all are looking for.
it's worth discussion.
Okay.
It checks all the boxes
Yes.
Thank you for your
Yes,
input.
thank you.
and saves the whole community a lot of money.
Hello, this is Leo Ramos. I'm from the hotel or condominium association.
Yes,
I wanted to mention that that area you're sitting in now is the dining room, right? It's
correct.
where right. Well, the hotel has another room. They call it the egret room, which is directly across where we used to have our meetings in an egret room. It's sort of like on the. Excuse me?
Yeah, we've used it. We've used it
We
before.
used your room about 2 years ago.
Right. So you don't need to be in that kitchen area and worry about disrupting any, businesses there when you could be using the area that's really made for a meeting is at that egret room, not in the space that you're in now. So maybe you want to ask about that room because, I mean, it don't look like you have that many people there that you need to have such a large space, right? Now, the issue with the bathrooms, I want to bring that up because, as you know, the business owner doesn't own the whole hotel. This is it's a little slice and dice in that area. The association actually owns the bathrooms, and we've been having some kind of issues with the business owner, which is Tom, right? So we've been trying to work out the issues that we've been having, and one of the things is the bathrooms. So that's why that issue was brought up to you guys to say, hey, you're not going to have a functioning bathroom because of the situation that we're in. So now it seems that we're working out that situation, and that might not be an issue later. Okay, but again, and I don't think it's going to be for free because nothing is free. Everything has to get paid, right? We got electrical, we got water. You guys are charging more for water now, so free is not free. That's with everything, right? So just take into that account that it may be available later, but it won't be for free. Okay, so just want to give you a heads up
Just
on
to be
that.
clear, so in the future, if we continue to use the hotel property, we'll end up paying to use the bathrooms.
Okay,
Is
which
that
I
what you're
haven't heard
saying?
Well,
That's.
yes,
Is that what you
because
said?
that's what I'm saying. Because the fact is that area that you're in belongs to one person, and the bathrooms belongs to the association, and we're the ones flipping that bill for the water consumption and the electrical or whatever.
This guy,
God
by the way,
forbid
is not
something else
speaking.
happens.
So, everybody keeps.
He's got his own water meter and his own,
He's not speaking.
Okay, thanks for your comment.
Okay.
Please come up.
I'm Garrett White, live on Cage Drive 285. This discussion about the restrooms, I have never in my life experienced such a petty issue ever in any venue. I just, the fact that when I look around this room, there are probably fewer people in this room that will be on a given Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night at English Cove. But notice they're not locking the bathrooms up there. The fact that there's even locks, the fact that there's even a discussion about this, I think is the most ridiculous, nonsensical thing there is. And if someone is claiming ownership of those bathrooms, and then using that as the deterrent to properly do business in this restaurant, then there is a really bad agreement. And I don't know if this is a Tom thing, but this is something that I think really has to have a good, solid conversation and not just side neighbors talking about, bitching about it here and there. I think this is a real serious issue that needs to get worked out. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. And I thank you guys for all your work, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
With that,
Okay, okay. Again, with the bathrooms, that's something again you don't know anything about. So you could say whatever you want. But when you're sitting in my shoes and going, but we've been going through with this owner not doing what he's supposed to do for almost 2 years now, then you will understand what the things that we have to do to make this person do what he's supposed to do so that we can function as one. Not this.
Yeah,
That's why this petty stuff is happening.
thank you for
Okay?
your comment. We're not a party to your dispute with the operator of the hotel, but if the board will make a note, your next meeting is December the 19th, the week before Christmas.
Okay.
And that community.
And Blind, one more thing. He made a good point about the invoices and stuff. We used to get the invoices of everything.
I see the engineering and the legals. I see those every month and I go through those.
Yeah.
The other stuff, I don't go through it, no.
I do, and on occasion, for Mitch's bill,
He calls me every month questioning me.
I'll call him every month, or I'll go around his back and ask Jared to look at quantities and things. We're doing that.
You know,
If you want to see them, I'll be happy to provide that. Typically, I funnel them to the chairman. If he's never had a concern, but if he did, we could share with the entire board.
There can't be that many vendors.
not really. Just to reiterate the last gentleman that was up here too, I tell you what, I'm absolutely disgusted with how some of this stuff goes. The pettiness that's going on here. We're not gonna let you use this because, and I understand, he's not speaking for that condominium association, but that's the sort of stuff that we're getting feedback on all the time. We got the same thing out of Orchid Cove. Oh, we're gonna shut your air conditioner off. We're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. Yeah, it's not their boards, but that's the stuff we're hearing. And some of us have put some serious cash into this community and asked for nothing in return. And then to have people saying, we're gonna charge you for toilet paper, it's ludicrous.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I second that.
All in favor? Aye.
Thank you all.
Thanks for
Well,
coming.
you don't know what's going on. You're saying nonsense. You don't know what's going on.